Hey everyone, welcome back to Bleach Brave Souls, and today we're going to talk about the best power characters to use in the current inheritance zone. Now, as with the other videos in this series, we're going to limit our selections to Hollow Killers and Soul Reaper Killers, because those characters will have a ×3 killer advantage in the current inheritance zone. Now, as usual, I don't have every top tier power character, so for the characters I don't have, I did watch some YouTube footage on them, and I'll just put them at the beginning of this video. So let's get started. We'll go over Swimsuit Nemu first. This character is an excellent power support character. She doesn't do a lot of damage, but she is a healer, guys. And healers cannot be underestimated in any type of PvE content, especially for co-op. But Nemu's an alright character. She doesn't do huge damage. She doesn't have Frenzy or anything like that, but she does have a pretty good Bruiser and a pretty good Berserker, and her numbers are fairly respectable, so she can dish out some damage. And she will have the ×3 killer advantage in Inheritance Zone because of her killer attribute. I did consider putting Isane in this spot, but I think that Nemu does slightly better damage. She has slightly better numbers, slightly better 6-star upgrades, and I just kind of like this character better. Isane is ranged though, so that is something you want to consider as well, and you know, it might make her a little safer to play, but I feel like Nemu offers more. She also has a burn on her special, and I think she will out DPS Isane. So Nemu's probably the ideal support character for this particular inheritance zone. Now, moving on to the next character, we're going to have to put in this slot Tag Team Ichigo. And if I had Tag Team Ichigo, I would have rated him properly, but I don't, unfortunately. This is an amazing character. And if you want to see his gameplay, guys, TXV Gaming has a great video on Tag Team Ichigo. He goes over a ton of builds, and what I did learn from watching that video is that this character has extremely good versatility. You can build him any way you want. Now, his stats and his 6-star upgrades lend him to a strong attack damage character because he does have Frenzy and he does have high spiritual pressure. But his normal attack string is excellent, guys. It has great speed, great range, and he also has a Vortex. So normal attack with a Vortex is a great combination. So he does have a viable normal attack damage build. I would just say if you were to go that route, don't use Chappies. Build him for normal attack damage, but without Chappies. So you still have access to his spiritual pressure. But for most people, I would highly recommend some kind of strong attack damage, strong attack recharge hybrid. This is what makes the character shine. He will do a crap ton of damage. He has great control. The Vortex he has is a great tool. He has almost a full screen third strong attack. His first strong attack, it comes out quick. Very good for crowd control. Everything's good for crowd control. Everything does a lot of damage. He has a great nat string. He's pretty much perfect. He doesn't have a killer, a boss killer ability, but you don't really need it because his other stuff is so good. So like I said, I wish I did have this character, but since I don't, I can't properly rank him. But I could safely say that he's one of the top units for this inheritance zone. Alright, so with that out of the way, guys, let's move on to the characters I do actually have. And in at the number 3 spot, it's going to be Fullbring Uryu. This character, he's kind of older now. He's a little bit outdated. His stats aren't as good as some of the other people on this list, but he's still very viable. And he's probably the best ranged unit for this particular inheritance zone. His normal attack string, it hits really hard. He has a good Berserker. He has good attack numbers, not great. But he does have an upgraded soul trait of 25% normal attack damage, so you could conceivably stack him with 100% normal attack damage, depending on what links you have. So that is something to take into account as well. His normal attacks, they have great reach. They'll go all the way across the screen, but they don't have excellent spread out to the sides. So he has a very narrow range, but it's still very usable. The way you're probably going to want to play this character is to stand way in the back and just keep firing arrows. And anytime somebody gets close, fire off a strong attack. And then, just back up and rinse and repeat. So you're not going to want to put him right into the middle of the action. But that's the same case for any other ranged character pretty much. He doesn't have a great strong attack toolkit, but it is serviceable and it will work for breaking guards and doing a little bit of crowd control. The third strong attack, it would have been great, but it comes out really slowly. So sometimes by the time it goes off, the enemies have moved out of position. So, I mean, his crowd control isn't the best, but he makes up for it a little bit with his range and his normal attack damage. Other than that, he does have a burn on his special, so he can also function as a boss killer. Anyway, that is Uryu. Pretty good character for range damage. You know, considering the fact that this character is very old now and he's still kind of relevant, is a good thing. And keep in mind, guys, if you're watching the gameplay on the screen right now, this Uryu is only at level 150. So if he's not doing as well as you would expect, he is not maxed out. And my normal attack damage accessories aren't the best. I do recommend you go full normal attack damage with chappies on this character. That is probably his optimal build. Unless you have some really good other accessories to make up for the lack of chappies, go chappies all the way. And with that out of the way, we're going to get into the top 2 units for the power attribute in this inheritance zone. And these characters are amazing. Power is one attribute that doesn't have a ton of Soul Reaper killers or Hollow killers in the top tier, but the top 2 that they do have are the best in the game, in my opinion. They're right up there with Bankai Kenpachi and some others. I can't even think of them now. But number 2 is going to be Sena. Sena is an amazing character, guys, and you know, it's a shame that she's limited edition because you're not going to be able to get her anymore, and you may not be able to get her anymore, but she is just a PvE beast. I do recommend that you build this character as a strong attack damage, strong attack recharge hybrid. What I use is the Frenzy Byakuya link, the Frenzy Yoruichi link, and the at 14 recharge link. But any combination of recharge and strong attack damage is going to be pretty decent. You really can't mess it up too much. Her strong attacks are amazing, and they're kind of centered around the moving vortex she has, which is strong attack 2. Now this moving vortex, it's a great tool for setting up her other attacks, and you know, you throw out the moving vortex, it'll cluster the enemies, and then you can fire off strong attack 1, you could throw in some normals, you could do a combination of different things, and she's just an amazing crowd control character. This combined with a good recharge, she can fire these things off pretty regularly, so I highly recommend recharge at least a little bit because that's what's really going to make her shine. The damage, she has Frenzy, she has high SP, definitely a top tier unit. It's just amazing. She has crowd control, or like I said, she has good damage. She can fire off great normals. Her normals are surprisingly good as well, guys. So, you know, definitely use them as much as you can. You know, you're not going to really even have to, but you might as well. She doesn't have that much downtime with her strong attacks. There is really no weaknesses to this character, in my opinion. She is just perfect. So, Sena in at number 2, she's amazing. You're going to destroy Inheritance Zone. You can see from the gameplay what it's like. I feel like K-Lab intended this character to be like kind of a combo character. And by that I mean you want to chain her strong attacks and then mix in the normals, you know. Fire off the vortex, like I said, then follow it up with a strong attack 1 or some normals, and then, you know, go into the middle. When the next bond comes out, fire off strong attack 3. It should wipe the board, and then, you know, you rinse and repeat. Extremely fun character to play, guys. That's it for Sena. Let's move on to the number 1 character on my power list, and it should be of no surprise that it's going to be Manga Tokyo. And this is another character that's limited edition. He may not come back in the future. We don't know yet. That's what they're saying for now, but you never know. This character is just a beast, like Sena, but he might even be stronger. I think it's pretty much a matter of playstyle and your opinion. Toshiro, I'm sure you already know about Toshiro. He dominates. He dominates PvP, or he did before Retsu came out, and he definitely still dominates PvE. Probably the best raid and inheritance and co-op character in the game right now for the power attribute, maybe for all the attributes. He does have a natural recharge soul trait, so you're going to want to build him for, I like to build him for pure recharge. Maybe you mix in a Frenzy Byakuya or a Frenzy Yoruichi, but he doesn't really need it. His strong attacks do enough damage that you're not going to need that extra damage. It's almost overkill at that point, so I recommend you lean towards more recharge than strong attack damage. As far as the actual strong attacks, they're all freaking amazing. First strong attack has very good reach. Second and third strong attacks have very good reach and spreads. They hit in a wide radius. They do a ton of damage. The third one will pretty much wipe out a spawn. And yeah, you know, on top of that, he has freeze procs on everything. And they go off quite a bit, guys, because he does a lot of hits. He does have Frenzy, keep in mind. So anyway, guys, those are my top choices for power characters to use in the current inheritance zone. However, I do have to point out that I feel like Sena and Toshiro are miles above any of the other characters I mentioned. There's also some other power characters you can use that don't have the killer advantage. The new Manga Yachiru is good, Noitra is still relevant, and Mila Rose maybe, but she does take extra damage, so keep that in mind. But the ones I listed are in my opinion the best. So thanks for watching, everyone. Let me know what you think in the comments. I don't really think anyone will debate that Toshiro and Sena are the best, but like I said, a lot of this comes down to your own personal preferences and tastes in what makes a good character. So that's it for now, guys. Tomorrow we're gonna go over the best heart characters for Inheritance Zone, and we'll finally be done. So we'll see you then, guys. Bye bye.